trying to meditate a little bit because it kind of helps me focus on what I want to say. So I'm currently studying psychology and counseling to integrate these practices with art of liberation, this social media platform I have established to integrate communities of all kinds and to share these safe space to give everyone a chance to speak for themselves and their own cultural knowledge, their own global conscious awareness, and their potential at it, even though if they feel that they don't believe that they have the capacity to do it. I still firmly believe that every human consciousness has the capacity to think outside the box, to think, to believe that there is more to this vessel that we live in, and that there is an interdimensional space out there that does function, does create a network that provides a space for our consciousness, if that's the way to put it. If that makes sense to everyone out there. It is a big concept, but I'm not going to get into it now. What I want to get into is psychology and counseling. So the two concepts we're learning in class right now for my social service work program for George Brown, which is what I'm doing on my third semester right now. Took a little break to find a job. So far it was no luck because, well, it's COVID right now and things are just a hit or miss at this point, and everyone is troubled by how much of an unknown is taking place. So we're just waiting to hear back from what the government says, but right now we still have to learn to be able to stay true to ourselves and what it is that we think is best for ourselves. And that is why I wanted to take counseling. Before this pandemic, I wanted to do counseling and psychology and integrate that with art, and wanted to get into art therapy. So this pandemic has not stopped me from helping people and being able to leave a footprint in this world. So there's two types of counseling out there from what I hear. It is a narrative practice and a solution practice. Solution focus practice. A counselor, an agent of change, a psychic, or a guru even, cannot solve your problems for you. That is not what counseling is all about. You are there to ground your person. I don't want to say client. I don't like to use the word client at all. In my personal opinion, I just feel like that's informal because you are labeling the person and making them feel that they're in a bubble and that they cannot get out and they'll be trapped in it. And that is what a system that wants to put you on a label does to you, is that they want to trap you in a box and label you. Once you are labeled, you cannot get out of that label. If you want to be continually evaluated as depressed and anxiety induced and, all this from the Diagnostic Statistic Manual, edition 5, you cannot see outside of what you can be, what you see yourself as now or the future. But let's just get into how a counselor should be with their client. When you meditate and when you reconnect with nature, when you are able to be in touch with yourself, when you're able to reconnect with yourself, that is powerful. That being able to step back from the problem you're facing and then coming back into it again and seeing that, and this is when the narrative part comes in. You as as a counselor, cannot see your person as the problem. The problem itself is the problem. The problem, whether or not you feel insecure about something, you are experiencing bereavement and grief from a loss. We all go through that. Whether it is some kind of addiction or substance use problem, it all depends on the severity of the problem too. Nobody can be able to discern a solution until they identify the problem. And if they find out that the severity of the problem is that they need to be able to step back from themselves, sometimes that kind of varies with loss, because loss is a very big thing and it's a very complicated issue to accept. But acceptance is definitely one of the things I would suggest. Accepting their life and what they have done for you, how they've influenced your energy, your vibration, your frequency. That is important to acknowledge and accept, and still hold on to their life, but not be sad for the vessel that is lost. And you have to keep their spirit going. You need to keep their spirit alive by staying alive for them. So, and whether or not it's even like reaching out to your ancestors too, I feel like this is also a very good way to be able to stay grounded, by reaching out to your past and then thinking about how you can give thanks to your ancestors for all the suffering, all the joy, all the discovery, all the ceremonies to be able to develop the culture that you are a part of. And whether or not you accept it, it's all up to you. Just being able to step back to your past, but still be able to remain present, and to look to the future but still remain present, is very, very important. An example would be in the Buddhist ideology. In Buddhism, they believe suffering is a part of life, just as love is a part of life. But you cannot be enlightened until you accept the fact that suffering is a part of learning, is a part of being. And how you choose to go about life through your suffering is all a variant of how it is that you're able to attain enlightenment, attain that love, and still being able to love even through all that suffering, because that's what can make you stronger. In Rastafarianism, you must accept love in your heart, specifically in practices with cannabis or marijuana, rituals and affirmations to manifest what solutions you need to be fulfilled. And that manifestation part is so important because it can give you the chance to be able to do the best you can when you believe that you can do it. You cannot say that, okay, I'm a quick learner, but I don't know how to read because I have dyslexia. Like, all those things, you can't let these labels just demotivate you. You cannot discourage yourself by a condition when that condition is what you believe in. It's what you believe is there, is existent. You yourself can be able to release yourself from that condition of labeling yourself when there is a problem, and you yourself can be able to find that solution when you realize that suffering is a part of learning. Know that as you're doing this process, as you're trying to figure out how to solve your issues with the counselor, just remember that your purpose is not being fulfilled yet. Your whole entire purpose of life, like why you're born and why you're going to die, is not the goal. It's not the main goal yet. Your solution to a problem you create for yourself is a part of clearing yourself of that negative energy that you have or perceive towards that problem. When you share the same level, and I think Albert Einstein has quoted this, when you share the same level of finding a solution when you would identify the problem, you will be stuck in that problem. So just keep that in mind. Example of what a person would say is that I am worthless. I'm guilty, afraid, discouraged, unmotivated, careless, fruitless. And you have to ask yourself, where did this worthlessness come into your life? When has this worthlessness come into your life? Like when? Do not label yourself as that worthlessness, because you yourself are manifesting that worthlessness, and that's not good. That is a no comprendo. How long has this worthlessness persisted? Has it festered? Has it just surfaced? You have to ask yourself these questions. What are the systems, circumstances, people that are influencing you into this worthlessness? And worthlessness is just an adjective to describe yourself, the problem within yourself, and it does not define you at all. You are divine. You are eloquent. You are a complete, well, not complete. You are a important creation passed down by ancestors to continue their legacy. You are a divine piece of elegance that suffers but chooses to love. You choose to keep a very calm tone when somebody is screaming at you. You are somebody who is not willing to be put down by negative words. You are bigger than the judgment that's been put before you your whole life. You yourself define you. You yourself can manifest who you are by being able to channel through the interdimensions of your positive vibrations, frequency, and energy. And that's who you are. That is who you are.